It's Latin for many.
Tick.
Now suck your blood. Now suck
Politics.
your
We will launch a new age.
Yeah, we're
doing it.
Yeah,
We're doing it.
So obviously, the Trump saga continues here. It's all anyone can talk about and think about.
It even continues to change like moment by moment.
Yeah.
There was new information coming out literally right up until we started the show. And I'm sure that it's even changing now. So I'm going to kind of keep an eye out, see if anything changes even further while we're reporting on it. But why don't you get us started?
Sure. So we have the Insider, businessinsider.com here. And the headline is Trump once revealed that the U.S. had a new secret nuclear weapons system that nobody's ever had. Book. So, yeah, good time to pitch a book. Donald Trump once boasted to a reporter about the nuclear information he had. In Bob Woodward's 2020 book Rage, the journalist detailed a conversation with Trump in 2019 in which the then president described a secret nuclear weapons system he credited himself with creating. Quote, I have built a nuclear weapons system that nobody's ever had in this country before. We have stuff that Putin and Xi have never heard before. There's nobody. What we have is incredible, end quote, Trump reportedly said. Why are they even doing this? Woodward wrote that sources confirmed the new weapons system existed, but were, quote, surprised Trump had disclosed it. Maybe this is part of the UFO thing. It's not clear what kind of nuclear weapons Trump was referring to. FBI agents descended on Trump's Mar-a-Lago home to carry out a search warrant on Monday. The Justice Department has not confirmed what investigators were looking for, but the Washington Post reported that documents related to nuclear information were among the items that federal agents had their sights on. Yeah, okay, nothing new. Trump called the reports of nuclear weapons documents being among the items in the search warrant a hoax. Quote, nuclear weapons issue is a hoax, just like Russia was a hoax. 2 impeachments were a hoax. The Mueller investigation was a hoax and much more, end quote, Trump posted on his social media site, Truth Social. But he later didn't deny that he had nuclear documents at Mar-a-Lago, instead attacking former President Barack Obama. Trump falsely accused Obama of illegally keeping classified documents. Quote, President Barack Hussein Obama kept 33 million pages of documents, much of them classified, Trump wrote on his Truth Social platform. How many of them pertain to nuclear? Word is lots, end quote. So, this is like, I was kind of lurking on social media to see the sentiment from all sides of the aisle here, and it is really just, I don't know. I know the country is falling apart. I know the United States is falling apart, but I really had just a moment of, man, we're really being distracted from something bigger, and the low-hanging fruit mudslinging is at an all-time high from all sides. And it's just I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed that we can't band together a little bit more in considering that, hey, maybe these politicians, man, they don't have our best interests, and I don't think necessarily Trump does either. Hello, daughter. Yes. Would you have something to say?
Hello, daughter.
What?
We've got a child on the show, folks. This is a family show, and it's all part of the content. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, she wants a pool party. Not right now.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, we can throw a pool party.
later.
Pool party after the show, everybody.
Yeah. It's hot, so it works.
Trump once revealed that the U.S. had a new secret plan or whatever, nuclear weapon. What does this have to do with the raid? Or is this unrelated?
This is all related. Well, let's go to what is this? This is New York Times here, and they have a little bit more of a more recent thing. And it's live updates. Documents taken from Trump's home included classified material, report says. Okay, so maybe we got a little bit more here. List of documents removed from former President Donald J. Trump's Florida residence, Mar-a-Lago, include materials marked as top secret and meant to be viewed only in secure government facilities, the Wall Street Journal reported on Friday. Okay, so it's marked as top security.
Yes.
I don't think that means anything. I mean, it could be the Trump's top secret seal. It doesn't mean government.
this is where the crux of the whole thing is coming from. Why don't you read a little bit more?
Sure. Federal agents who executed a search warrant on Monday seized 11 sets of documents in all, including some marked as classified TSSCI. Documents shorthand for top secret, sensitive, compartmentalized information, according to the report. In total, agents collected 4 sets of top secret documents, 3 sets of secret documents, and 3 sets of confidential documents. The Journal reported, saying it had reviewed the inventory of items taken in the search. Included in the manifest were also files pertaining to the pardon of Roger J. Stone Jr., a longtime associate of Mr. Trump, and a briefing dossier of President Emmanuel Macron of France. Wow.
Yeah, this is one of the weird ones. Some of the documents have to do with the French president, which is, if Trump was sort of purposefully, holding back documents, or why, he claims that they were accidentally loaded on the plane while he was moving out of the White House,
right?
Which, I don't know, whatever. I guess it's possible, but it seems like a bit of an oversight. But, if it was on purpose, what are these files on Macron, and why does Trump want them?
The inventory, which accompanied a warrant issued by a federal judge, is expected to be released as part of the Justice Department's efforts to make the warrant and some supporting materials public. I thought that was supposed to happen at noon our time here, at least on my time, West Coast. I don't know if anything came of it, but
things move fast.
Yeah, I guess nothing happened because
wait, I'm sorry. Is this regarding the warrant?
Yeah.
Yeah, the warrant's out.
Oh, so
I have something.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been looking at a bunch of stuff.
Okay, good. All right. So I was going to say, it was supposed to come out a couple hours ago, so I think we're...
Yeah. No, it's out, and reporting has started on it.
All right, let's
see. Why don't I I'm going to pop a link over here for you, which talks a little bit about it. And it does have something very revealing in the warrant. I have not yet seen anybody make the physical actual document public, but there's been lots of writing about it. This one is coming from The Hill, and it is... Oh, where did it go? Here it is, mirrored on MSN. And this is interesting. The headline, Trump suspected of violating Espionage Act, according to search warrant. Now, the sort of ponderings that have been going around all week, because we didn't know what was in the warrant, people trying to figure out what might be in there, connect it to other cases going on, try to assume their way through the information, is in regards to the Presidential Records Act, which, we've talked about in the past. But in the warrant, it actually revealed that it's connected to suspicion of violation of the Espionage Act, which is quite a bit different. Here's a bit of the article. Federal law enforcement suspected former President Trump had violated the Espionage Act and other laws when it sought to obtain a search warrant for his Mar-a-Lago estate, according to court records unsealed Friday. That's today. The unsealed warrant shows that investigators were authorized to seize any documents or records with classified markings or related to the, quote, transmission of national defense information or classified material. Now, the markings part, the classified markings part, is interesting, and I think may become more interesting as it goes on. In the government, of course, if something gets made top secret or classified or whatever, of the varying levels of which it can be marked or categorized, it gets the mark. You got the big stamp on the front, top secret, classified, whatever. That's one thing. Now, I think it'll come up in an article. Maybe it's this one. Trump claims that he declassified.
Yeah, that was the one I was going
right.
to. Yeah, this is the one I was going to pull up.
As president, he technically can declassify literally anything he wants.
Look at the number of things he declassified too. And
there was a number of things he declassified. And he claims to have declassified these documents, which would have allowed him to take them. But the pushback against that is that he didn't go through the right process.
The formal written record that would be difficult to disprove.
Didn't file the right forms, didn't do these things. And so there's going to be a lot of attention focused on those two details. Like, can a president just say something is declassified and then they become declassified? Some people say you got to follow the rules. Other people will say, well, it's executive privilege. The president just has to say something and then it gets done. You know, these types of pretty boring but pretty important details will be discussed in the future. Let's see here. Let's continue with this. The warrant also authorized the seizure of, quote, any evidence of the knowing alteration, destruction, or concealment of any government and or presidential records, or of any documents with classification markings. You're going to love this, Gun. Get the bell ready. Investigators listed 33 items that they had seized from the property, including the executive order of clemency for longtime Trump ally Roger Stone and information regarding the president of France. The receipts also included entries such as miscellaneous top secret documents. Miscellaneous. Which ones? Oh, just this and that, you know. Binders of photos and a handwritten note. Ooh. You know, the handwritten note thing is interesting. Technically, the notes that a president handwrites are subject to the presidential archives. I'm not sure about the Espionage Act, but so the fact that they took the handwritten note shows that they had more than just the Espionage Act in mind. But, you know, we never covered it, but a week or two ago, there was this crazy amount of news coverage on the documents that Trump flushed down the toilet. You remember that? Mm-hmm. It was a big deal in 2020 or leading up to the election.
Toilets, the whole deal, yeah.
And then it came back up out of nowhere, like last week, with more photos of quote unquote documents he had flushed down the toilet. And they were literally just like napkins with some Trump scribblings on it. And, you know, is it weird that he was flushing away handwritten notes? Yeah. But is it top secret documents? Trump destroying top secret documents? No, I don't think so. The binders of photos is interesting.
That could be a part of the sewer surveillance too. Maybe they need to really get in there and find out what's going on.
Surveillance. What do you think these photos are in the binders of photos?
What? What are you talking about?
Binders of photos. They took miscellaneous top secret documents and binders of photos and a handwritten note. Yeah, I think it's aliens, UFOs.
Could be.
But this the lookbook of Trump's, UFO sightings.
Selfies.
Yeah. The inventory of documents seized during this search lays out 11 different sets of classified items seized during the search. Yeah, we know this. We already talked about this.
Yeah. So from what I understand here, so he did declassify it, but so there's a law, Section 1519 and 2071 of Title 18 of the U.S. Code, making concealing documents a crime, even if they were unclassified. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's an interesting detail. Although, did he conceal it? Yeah, I guess he is concealing it if he's taking it to his house.
Well, they were concealed. They were in a safe. He had them in closets, which, again, you got to remember, the Archives Association, administration, whatever, had already come to Mar-a-Lago, took a bunch of boxes
in June, right?
And left other boxes and told him, hey, put a lock on this door if you're going to keep these boxes in this closet. And he's like, okay, and put a lock on the door. Now, here's the response. A spokesman for Trump, when asked for comment, pointed to a post from the former president on Truth Social claiming that the records had been declassified. Quote, "Number one, it was all declassified," Trump wrote in the post. "Number two, they didn't need to seize anything." My Trump is not very good. "They could have had it any time they wanted without playing politics and breaking into Mar-a-Lago. It was in secured storage with an additional lock put on as per their request. They could have had it any time they wanted, and that includes long ago."
That is an interesting point. Caps. Yeah, obviously, in the political situation we're in with the midterms, it's a problem if the DOJ and the FBI, they knew about this for 2 years and did nothing. Isn't that just as much of a national security threat as the potential of Trump taking documents? I mean, what is our leadership, our intelligence agencies, what are they doing if they're kind of sitting around doing nothing for a couple years? You know? So anyway, just that's a Trump point, I guess, but sure.
Yeah. Now, the Espionage Act is interesting because that is how they're trying to get Julian Assange. Mm-hmm. They're trying to charge Trump with the same Julian Assange Act. So I don't know. There's some interesting irony there. Yeah. Seeing as Trump had sort of campaigned on the idea that he would set not set him free, but give him a pardon. He was going to pardon Assange and then took it back.
He mentions Assange and Snowden in this article.
And Chelsea Manning as well. Yeah. So, it goes on a bit. But yeah, the Espionage Act is kind of the newest piece of information. It turns where the Presidential Archive Act or whatever was kind of like we can technically get him on this. It's more of like an administrative technicality that he was going to get in trouble for. Going for the Espionage Act is back to Trump's and Russian asset. He's blah, blah, it's much more intense putting him in that category. And I don't know. I mean, for better or for worse, I think if they are trying to get Trump on some sort of technicality or something to make it so he can't run for president, you got to aim low, man, because trying to get him on the Espionage Act is a pretty high bar. It's a pretty high bar to reach, especially for him. But, if found guilty of some of the most serious charges, the one involving destroying records in a federal investigation carries a maximum possible sentence of up to 20 years in prison. So they're trying to lock him away.
Yeah. Some of the sentiment I saw from social media, and, this isn't news per se, but just the temperament of the people, especially a lot of the anti-Trumpers are out in droves again, talking about, there's finally we get some justice or whatever it is. And it was funny because a lot of them were saying, hey, Obama never tried to sell nuclear secrets to other nations. He never did that.
Didn't he?
And I just a reminder, this is from May 11th, 2015. And this is Business Insider. And the headline is, Obama just made a quiet nuclear deal with China. And, they'll say, there's not nuclear weapons. It's not nuclear weapons he's given to China. But in the article itself here, there's a spot where it says, Henry Sokolsky, executive director of the Non-Proliferation Policy Education Center, had been urging lawmakers to insist on requiring advance consent for the reprocessing of spent fuel from U.S.-designed reactors into plutonium suitable for weapons. He is also concerned about the sale of certain nuclear energy technologies, especially coolant pumps, with possible naval use. So they were already kind of like, we're kind of not sure about selling all that stuff to China. And it goes on to talk about China already had nuclear weapons and they've been, doing research since the 60s. So they're in a whole different category. They're like a different thing. And so, okay. And I love this picture. A great reminder of it's just in hindsight. I don't know. It resonates a little differently. Again, this is an article from 2015. It is a picture of Michelle Obama standing with Xi and the Obama children. I think maybe Michelle's mom right there in China visiting and, just taking a photo op in front of some Chinese temple. But given the situation
with the dictator,
I mean, if you in the hindsight, it's kind of like, wow, okay, I think our country really was sold out to China a lot more than people. Ago. A lot longer. There's a lot more that's been sold off, and it happened long ago. I mean, I think Obama was really the icing on the cake, because Bush was doing some stuff before him too. So it's not like
Bill Clinton started it.
Yeah, Clinton started
and
it.
He did a great job. Then Bush came along and had a good time, rode some horses, stuff like that. Then Obama came in and, everything just got turned up to 11.
The other thing that I kept seeing was, well, when did Obama, ever have classified documents in his basement? Mm-hmm. To which I think a lot of people
ignoring the fact that Hillary did that exact thing.
Well, Hillary didn't have nuclear secrets, did she? Yeah, I don't know. But just interestingly enough, if we're talking about secret documents or classified information in basements, just a reminder, this is from 2020.
What you know now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what? If I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats, looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. Wow. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Hello.
Right.
I mean,
he wanted to be the basement president.
Yeah, I wanted to be basement president. So I don't know if that's, I don't know. The awareness of the general public is quite alarming. Low awareness.
The unawareness, yeah.
Yeah, low awareness from all sides. But
kind of to top it off.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There was real quick, before we move on to the next one, there was kind of a kicker down here at the end on this Hill article. It said, it remains unclear whether the Justice Department has seized evidence that would support charging Trump with any of the crimes, or if he faces an imminent threat of prosecution. So they're not even sure. Well, it's unclear as of now if they even got anything that would implicate him in the crimes that he's being accused of. And that's why the Espionage Act charge, well, it's not a charge yet, but it's a suspicion. That's why the Espionage Act is so interesting, because it's almost like, let's try to get him for the biggest possible thing with a pretty high bar of evidence needed. And if he doesn't have, even if he does have a bunch of unclassified documents illegally, if it's not like the exact ones that match the Espionage Act requirements, then nothing will happen. Yeah. And he'll just, he'll just keep living his life, which is probably the most likely outcome as of now. And, it brings us back to this question. Why? Why did it go this way? There was reporting and comments about how, they didn't mean for it to be such a circus. They tried to do it secretly. They tried to avoid all this.
Yeah, of course.
And they botched it, but that was also in the same article that lied about Merrick Garland. So, we can't believe any of that. But we talked about this in context of the midterms last episode, and what this means for the midterms. And over here at Breitbart.com, they have an article that goes like this. The headline, most Americans say FBI raid on Trump motivates them to vote in the midterms. Oh, everybody's more motivated now. Yeah, now, who exactly is motivated? Most Americans say the FBI's raid on former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home has motivated them to vote in the midterm election. A Convention of States Action Trafalgar Group survey released Wednesday found, quote, does the FBI raid on President Trump increase your motivation to vote in the 2022 election? The survey said. The overwhelming majority, 70.4%, said the FBI's raid of Trump's residence will increase their motivation to vote in the 2022 election, compared to 21.6% who said it will not.
Math.
Yeah, here's some more math. Another 8.1% remained unsure. Over half of the Democrats, 55.2%, said it will increase their motivation to vote. So I'm thinking, okay. So maybe this was a Democrat ploy to kind of catch the rat in a trap and get the Democrats to vote. But an even greater number of Republicans, 83.3%. Nice little 33 in there.
Yep.
Said it will motivate them to head to the polls in November. 7 in 10 independents, 71.7%, said it will motivate them to vote in November as well. So Democrats, motivated, 50% motivated. Republicans and independents, like 83 and 71% respectively.
Told you,
That
man.
is
I
enormous.
told you.
Called it.
I said this was the Republican row thing. This
You're
is
right.
just yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's much like how Roe v. Wade being overturned motivated Democrats.
Right.
This is motivating Republicans, which kind of does give a little credence to the theory that maybe Trump was tipped off. Maybe Trump is in contact with his buddy Christopher. What's his name? The head of the FBI, director of the FBI, Wray. Christopher Wray, who is a Trump appointee. Maybe he's in on it. And maybe this was the plan the whole time. Who knows?
He's a 5D chess champion, so of course he would put people in office that he knows he can manipulate, even if they're against him. In fact, maybe that was the play.
Trump, it's all about loyalty. You know,
Yeah.
Christopher Wray had to prove his loyalty by raiding Mar-a-Lago. Additionally, the survey found that 47.9% overall believe, quote, Trump's political enemies are behind the raid, compared to 39.7% who said the impartial justice system is behind it.
That's the 39.7% that my heart and my mind just melt for. It's like, come on, guys.
Over three quarters of Republicans, 76.7%, believe Trump's political enemies are behind the raid. The survey was taken August 8th through 10th, 2022, among 1,095 likely general election voters, and has a plus or minus 2.9% margin of error. And there you go. So no matter what, this has activated the independents and the Republicans to vote more in the 2022 election, which, remember, is a midterm election. So it's not even the president's election. It's the
midterms.
The midterms, which considering the Republicans have come out and explicitly promised that if we take the Senate and the House, we will defund the FBI. So, you got to think a lot of those people motivated are like, yeah, let's defund the FBI. Sounds cool. Sounds good.
Actually, interestingly enough, that was the only sort of bipartisan thing that I saw. People saying, hey, we Republicans saying down with the FBI. Some Democrats can get on board with that. Let's work together to take down the FBI. And who would actually do that in 2024 and beyond would be a second President Trump term. So
yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, it would have to be the Senate and the House, but but certainly filled with Trump people.
Yeah,
they might actually do it. Yeah, you're right. Alternatively, it is funny to be putting Democrats in the situation where they have to defend law enforcement.
all of this is just a big game and a stage, and we all know that. So, I think it's meant to get people that are really into the political drama to go into the details. And I'm looking at Twitter right now and people are freaking out. It's like, it's declassified, but it's classified, but they have no idea what they're talking about on Twitter.
Right.
It's just people going crazy. Oh, this is Grand Slam. He's going to jail. Just madness, which I think that's part of it, too. I'm sure this helps the Democrats in a sense, too, because they got some ammunition for the 2024. If Trump runs, that's a lot of bait that the Democrats would take as part of the why Trump should not get elected and keep Joe. Which, by the way, where's Joe? What's Joe up to?
Joe, what's going on, Joe? He's taking a nap.
We'll get to Joe later. Oh, did I lose you?
Oh, you lost me for a second.
I lost you for a second. Yeah. Okay.
I said he's taking a nap.
Okay. Well, let's take a break, and then we will actually talk about Joe. You good with that, or you got anything else more to say about this?
Nope. Let's go, baby.
Let me just say one last thing, because this is part of my tweet from a couple days ago that the Democrats had the Roe reversal to light a fire under their butts. You have this raid thing that motivates the Republicans. Meanwhile, our actual resources, our capital, our weapons, everything else continues to just go to other countries. The United States gets drained of our resources, and nobody bats an eye because hey, elections, go vote, try to make a difference. I'm being sarcastic. I don't know if you can tell if I'm being sarcastic.
You know what? I am not mistaken, but I just found, I mentioned that nobody had actually released the search warrant documents.
I was going to say somebody had to.
Guess who did? CNN.com.
I was going to say Babylon Bee. No.
Yes. CNN is the only place I've seen so far that actually has the documents readable on their webpage.
They got the connections.